What if the dawning of a new era at Hollis Hall is upon us? What if whispers of future greatness are echoing through the walls of Soldier Field? The anticipation is palpable, and after day 3 of Bears training camp, the air is electric with possibility, yet swirling with uncertainty. Buckle up, Bears Nation, because it's not just practice. It's a high-stakes game of chess with the future hanging in the balance. Hit that like button now, subscribe if you bleed navy and orange, and drop your thoughts in the comments. Are we ready to witness the Bears rise again? There are murmurs, fragments of insight bubbling to the surface that suggest something significant is taking shape. Sources are buzzing. Insiders are hinting. The vibe within the locker room is one of desperation and hope. But naming names? Not just yet. The tension is thick like a fog creeping over Lake Michigan on a chilly autumn morning. The story unfolds, layer by suspenseful layer, and right in the heart of it is a name you're all too familiar with: Caleb Williams. Yes, the third practice of training camp saw our Golden Boy struggling under the weight of expectations, and fans are left to wonder, is this the blossoming of a star or the makings of a tragedy? Talk about a roller coaster, folks. His early struggles could easily be mistaken for growing pains, but the truth weighs heavier than that. Can you feel it? Back-to-back interceptions, a defense that is smothering him like a thick winter coat. And you can't shake the feeling that this is more than just a practice. This is a trial by fire, and we're living through it right now. The ghosts of past failures linger. Think of the heartbreak, the near misses, the tantalizing prospects never realized. The legendary names we revere: Sweetness, Ehrlicher, Hester. Where are our new icons, our modern-day heroes? This is why we watch, why we fight, why we keep the faith. The stakes couldn't be higher, and the fear of failure hangs on the shoulders of this rookie like a yoke. What if he can't rise to the occasion? What if all that raw talent and promise frays at the edges under pressure? Conversely, what if he thrives, cracking the code and leading us out of the abyss of mediocrity? Imagine it a future where we look back at this moment, shaking our heads in disbelief that we ever doubted him. Every throw of the football, every snap of the ball ignites a flicker of hope within us, layering it thicker than the history of heartbreak that has paved our team's path. This coaching staff isn't willing to let Caleb fail quietly. They're pushing him to the brink to see what he's made of. And trust me, they're not the only ones holding their breath. Can he connect with the weaponry at his disposal, channeling the spirits of our long-gone legends while battling through instincts and experience that sometimes seem at odds? The tension between potential and reality swells with every day, and it's riveting, terrifying, and completely exhilarating all at once. But let's not be naive. A single practice doesn't define a future, nor does it erase the scars of the past. Each day brings the unpredictable, and as we sift through the intricate tapestry of personalities, talent, and ambition, one question looms large: will Caleb Williams be the spark that rekindles the fire? Or is he doomed to join the ranks of forgotten names who couldn't quite cut it? This is just a single chapter in a relatively long narrative, and we have so much more to uncover. So buckle up, Bears family, because this is just the beginning. And remember, every moment is critical, almost cinematic in its unfolding. As the sun sets on another day of training camp, what lies ahead remains an enigma wrapped in mystery. Are we just a heartbeat away from greatness, or is the bubble about to burst? The answers await, and they beckon with a siren's call. Stay tuned for part 2, because trust me, you're not going to want to miss what's coming next. Smash that notification bell right now, because what's coming next might just reshape everything we thought we knew about this season's trajectory. Gloves are off, the pads are on, and the truth is clawing its way out from under years of silence, mistakes, and missed opportunities as the Caleb Williams experiment teeters between genius and catastrophe. But here's the real kicker, Bears fans. While the spotlight burns hot on QB1, behind the curtain, there's a swirling storm threatening to rip open the seams of this locker room from the inside out. And if you've been paying attention, then you heard the whispers, murmurs of tension between the offensive staff and the front. office over personnel decisions that already feel like make-or-break moments. With a certain veteran wide receiver reportedly frustrated over target share, a rookie lineman getting chewed out louder than a jet engine during drills, and one key defensive starter walking off early from practice with no explanation and even less eye contact, fueling talk of a possible trade that nobody's supposed to mention, but everyone's already texting about. And while the coaching staff stays tight-lipped, you can sense the tremors Matt Eberflus and his crew are locked in a silent tug-of-war with Ryan Poles' vision. And you better believe it's not just philosophical, it's personal. Because the margin for error in Chicago is razor-thin, and every decision now feels like a referendum on the regime itself. But here's the haunting truth. If Caleb struggles again tomorrow, and if the defensive unit continues to dominate too, the point of undermining the offense's confidence, don't be shocked if we start seeing shakeups on the depth chart faster than fans can update their fantasy rosters. And oh yeah, speaking of roster moves, don't rule out a surprise veteran signing either, because one source I spoke with hinted off the record, of course, that the front office has been quietly circling a recently cut Pro Bowl caliber cornerback who could bring immediate swagger and experience to the secondary. And trust me, that kind of locker room presence could tilt the balance in ways we're not ready for, especially if the young guys start feeling the heat from upstairs. But maybe that's the point. Maybe this whole camp is designed to be a crucible, to expose the weak spots now before real bullets fly. And if that's the case, then every drop pass, every blown assignment, every muffled scream behind the Gatorade tent is part of a plan far more ruthless and brilliant than we imagine. Because remember, this is Chicago, where legends are born in the cold, forged in pain, and defined by the roar of a city starving for resurrection. And if Caleb is to be that Messiah, he must bleed before he shines, must break before he rebuilds, and must earn every ounce of belief we so desperately want to give him. So the next time you see him walk onto that field with the weight of Hollis Hall on his back, don't just see a quarterback, see a battlefield, a chessboard, a crucible of what could be the greatest rebirth in modern Bears history, or the final nail in yet another era we'd rather forget, because the sun's coming up on day 4, and nothing is guaranteed except the chaos we're about to witness. This city cries out for change. And so I ask you, are we daring enough to believe again? Or are we doomed forever to speak of the glories that once were while we count down the days till next September in a haze of shattered hopes? Bear down, Chicago. The wind is shifting. Will we stand resolute or cower before another storm?